Hello everyone, welcome back to another Premiere Pro tutorial. Usually when we increase the scale value, the video zooms into the center, but today, let's learn how to create a zoom-in animation for a specific part of your video. First, create a scale keyframe at the beginning of your video. Then, move the playhead a few seconds forward. Next, double-click on the preview window, and you'll see a small circle in the middle of the video. Move this circle to the part of the video you want to zoom in on. Now, go back to the Effect Controls panel and increase the scale value. You'll see that the video zooms into the part you selected. I've already added my clip to the timeline. First, create an adjustment layer. Once it's created, drag the adjustment layer into the timeline and match it to the length of your clip. Next, select the adjustment layer and go to the Effects panel. Search for the effect called Circle. Double-click it to add it to the layer. Then navigate to the Effect Controls panel. Scroll down to the circle effect we just added. The first thing to change is the blending mode. Set it from None to Stencil Alpha. Now, adjust the radius of the circle. Increase the radius until you see a bit of black in each corner. After that, drop down the feather option and increase the feather outer edge until the vignette effect becomes visible. If you'd like a stronger vignette, you can further adjust the radius to your liking. Feel free to experiment with what works best for your video. And that's it.
Introducing the Creators Vault Limited Edition, the complete Premiere Pro preset bundle built for creators. Get 400 plus premium presets, including cinematic animations, professional color presets, text intros, and music video effects, all in one package. Just drag, drop, and transform your edits in minutes. And the best part? It's available for just $19.99. Only 100 copies are available. Once they're gone, this limited edition bundle will never be sold again. Get yours today and take your videos to the next level.
I've already added a video clip to my timeline. First, select the razor tool and split the video after 1 second. Then, go to the Effects tab, search for the offset effect, and drag it onto the first clip. Next, search for the directional blur effect and drag it onto the same clip. Then, search for lens distortion and drag it onto the first clip as well. Now, in the Effects Controls panel, under Offset, set a keyframe for Shift Center 2 at the beginning of the clip. Move the playhead to the end and spin the Shift Center to parameter a few times like this. Make sure the keyframe is at the end of the clip. For the directional blur effect, set the direction to 90 and the blur length to 65. For the lens distortion effect, set the curvature to -43. Next, go back to the Effects tab. Search for the brightness and contrast effect and add it to the second clip. Select the second clip, and in the Effects Controls panel, set a keyframe for brightness at the beginning of the clip and adjust the brightness to 100. Set a keyframe for contrast and change its value to 40. Move 3 frames forward and set both values back to 0. And that's it. I've already added a video clip to my timeline. First, go to the Effects panel, search for Posterize Time, and drag it onto your video. Next, head over to Effect Controls and set the frame rate to 1.5. Then, right-click on the video layer and select Speed Duration. Adjust the speed to 1000 and click OK. And that's it, your time-lapse is ready. I already added a clip to my timeline, so as a first step, go over to Effects and search for Warp Stabilizer. Then drag and drop it into your video clip. Now a blue bar appears on your preview screen, indicating that analyzing your video clip, which will then be followed by a short duration orange bar. After that, go over to Effect Controls and under Warp Stabilizer, click on the Advanced tab. Now expand the rolling shutter ripple and select Enhanced Reduction. Then change the value of the crop less to 100%. Now finally, your video stabilized as you wish. To begin, I've already added 3 clips to my timeline that I've stacked on top of each other like this. Right-click and highlight the top 2 clips. Then go over to Effects and search for Radial White Video Effect and add it to both videos. Then with the top clip selected, go over to Effect Controls and change Transition Completion and start angle to 50. Then click Motion and move the clip up a bit. Now select your second clip and do the same thing, but this time changing the transition to 50 and start angle to 230. To create a separation line between the 2 videos, select your pen tool and draw a line between the 2 clips like this. After that, go over to Essential Graphics Check Stroke and adjust values as you wish. And also you can adjust lines like this. Now simply repeat for the other separation and you're done. Select your clip and click the right mouse button. Then select Speed Duration. After that, add slow down values as you wish. Then Time Interpolation drop-down menu has 3 options. I will explain one by one. It will help you to get an idea of what you choose for your clip. When slowing down a video, Premiere Pro will insert spaces between the frames to extend the video duration. There are 3 options for how Premiere Pro will fill in the empty frames. Frame sampling. Premiere Pro will automatically fill in empty frames by copying the frame before it. Frame blending. This setting will combine adjacent frames into a single blended frame. This usually creates blurry frames, so the third setting offers another option. Optical flow. With this interpolation method, Premiere Pro will create intermediate frames by averaging the 2 frames before and after them. This creates a more seamless slow motion effect with less choppy and blurry frames. So select one of these as you wish. This time I select Frame Blending and click OK. Then magic happened. First step, duplicate your video using Hold, Alt, key and drag and drop. To begin, go over to Effects and type VR Denoise, then add the effect into your video clip. Now go over to Effect Control and under Noise Level change this value to 0.30. So now we will add a mask to your clip. Go over to Effect Control and click the ellipse button under VR Denoise. Adjust that ellipse to look like this. Then increase the mask feather to look like this. Now we will animate that ellipse with face. So click the mask path toggle icon and move that ellipse with your face. Do like this for your entire video. I fast forwarded this. First, we'll see the basic method. Head over to Sequence and click on Sequence Settings. Then, change the frame size to your desired dimensions and click OK. As you can see, with this method, you might still need to adjust the video's size and position, especially if your main subject is moving. So, let's explore a much easier method. Select your clip, go to Sequence, and click on Auto Reframe Sequence. Now, choose your desired aspect ratio. Keep the other settings as they are, and click Create. This process will take a few seconds. Once it's done analyzing, here's the final result. When we're about to add effects to our clip, it's often impossible to play your video in real time. Now look at this. On top of the timeline, we can find a color label. When it's yellow, it means Premiere Pro is able to play back your video in real time. Red means Premiere can't play it back in real time, so we have to render this footage. After we're done, that indicator will turn green. Let's render our video. Go over to Menu and select Sequence. Here you can see multiple ways to render your clips. But how do we know which one to choose? Well, render effect in and out, or just pressing the return key is a way to render all the clips with red labels. Sometimes this could take a while. If you have trouble playing back the yellow labeled clips, you could also choose from the sequence menu, Render in and out. When you don't have a selection in your timeline, Premiere will just simply render everything. If you want to render just the selected clip in your timeline, highlight your clip and head over to Menu and select Sequence. Then select Render Selection. Then Premiere will render that highlighted clip. Rendering audio is also possible from this menu, which could be useful when you're working with audio effects. Now, if there's some kind of a bug or a problem with a rendering that you've made, you can always click on Delete Render Files and render again. So I've just added a video to my timeline and click on the wrench icon below the preview window and switch on Transparency Grid. Then go over to File and scroll down to Export and click on Media, or just press Ctrl and M buttons on your keyboard. Now expand Format and select QuickTime. Then under Video Codec, select the animation. Scroll down to Depth Area and select the Plus Alpha option. Now you can export your clip, and it will keep the background transparency of your video. So as a first step, keep your main video in the second layer. To begin, head over to the Effects and search for Color Key and add it to your video clip. Now head over to Effect Control and select a little dropper icon beside it. Go over to your preview screen and click on a part of your background. Then go over to this wrench icon and select Transparency Grid from the options. Now adjust the color tolerance, edge thin and edge feather until your background completely disappears, but not so much that removes the foreground objects. So now drag and drop your background video to the bottom layer like this. And then move that video as you wish like this. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, comment below and I will reply as soon as possible. See you again in the next video.